Anytime a Nigerian succeeds, you would want to give pressure to a Ghanaian who is like 6 or 8 times
less,
less
in terms of population,
his population, their whatever, even the number of millionaires you find in Nigeria.
Yeah.
You can't find that number of millionaires in Ghana. That said, the Ghanaian
in this video, Samini is about to explain to us the reason there always want to be a competition between Nigeria and Ghana. It's not like Ghanaians are bringing that competition. No. Nigerians are the ones that are bringing the competitions. Always they want to give pressure to a Ghanaian for on no reason. He is going to give us the explanation how that possible. Stay tuned.
the Ghanaian consumer should also understand that to whom much is given,
Much is required.
if you don't invest in the craft for us to reach certain spaces, if we invest, if we plow back our own money to keep the brand where it is, or what we would require of you is some support rather than criticism without any input. Because the input we would need from you, the external body, I would call you the private sector, would be financial investments so that the things will match what you're trying to compare it to. Because what you're comparing it to, there are some dons over there who are handling the thing. Go to multi-choice in South Africa. Half of the stations on that DSTV thing is owned by Nigerians. Big Brother started Big Brother Africa. Right now, Big Brother Nigeria is what people know. Some people don't even know it started as Big Brother Africa. That was DKB Dem's era, where DKB, and Sammy B Dem's, But now, it's been brought to Nigeria, and it's even bigger than when it was Big Brother Africa.
Exactly.
How do you give yourself pressure with such a movement? If it was United States of Africa, Nigeria would be, say maybe New York or LA.
Exactly.
So why is a guy in Philly giving himself pressure that I have to beat the guy in LA by all means, when you know that everything that's provided in LA for whatever is happening there is...
I hope some of you who's seeing it like there's competition somewhere, there are no competition anywhere. And if there are competition, I think Ghana is far above Nigeria for the competition level, because when you look in the history and you go deep in the history, the kind of history Ghana already gathering for ground, Nigeria cannot even have quarter of it. They can't even near it. Understand? Ghana already did on top of the world already. They already did there. And when you go check your own history, the history that Ghana already have, Nigeria cannot even smell it in until this generation come and pass. Although you will come and say whatever you want to say as a Nigerian, that will not concern me. I'm telling you the truth. You can't use music to brag. Music will be nothing. Don't use it to brag.
It's different from what you're getting
Is it
down
because
here?
they came to learn from us? Because they came to learn from us. Because over time, you've heard even the Nigerians say that
talks.
we came to Ghana, we came to pick your highlight sounds.
They came to learn what?
You hear that? People get to understand that Nigerians come to learn from Ghanaians. You listen to it, say Nigerians come to learn from us. No, me, I'm not the one saying no. Me, Nigerians come to learn from Ghanaians. Right? Mean what you are using to brag is not even belong to you. The music Nigerians are used to brag now, according to, I hope you can repeat it and listen again. She say, just because they come to learn from us, that means Nigerians come to learn the music from Ghanaians, and you are using it again to brag. How? What is not belong to you, you are bragging with it again. How is that possible?
And you hear Odoyewu and things, and they make it more popular.
Don't we also learn things from them? Don't we sing their Omo and Abi and all that? Yeah. We all get inspired. We inspire each other. It's West African sound. It's pidgin. It's music. You know, we've gone there. We've come here. We've gone there. In the 80s, most of our high life artists traveled over there.
Yeah.
And when they came back, the sound has changed. Had changed.
Yeah.
They had added elements to it, and it was even more appealing to the Ghanaians as well, because it had grown.
Yeah.
After that, Nigerians realized how that sound had grown and how Ghanaians were not protecting that sound abroad, out in that space. And how if they invested in their craft and tapped into how our sound is, they could push their craft to make Nigeria great.
Yeah.
Because there's this stereotype, whether it's true or not, or there's this rumor that there was a conscious effort by the Nigerian government and other private institutions to change the narrative about the name Nigeria, because usually you would call Nigeria and people would talk about, you know, all the negatives,
all the,
you know. Whereas we know some genuine Nigerians, some beautiful souls who just do their business, do their work, and, you know, everything genuine. So they wanted to change that narrative so that when you hear Nigeria, you're happy. Today, when you hear Nigeria, you hear Burna Boy. When you hear Nigeria, you hear Wizkid, Davido. When you hear Nigeria, you think Afrobeat.
But you're as big as them.
Well, of course. And I represent Ghana.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to tell me because I represent Ghana.
This is something that make me laugh. He said that the government trying to change. Nigerian government don't do anything. Everybody is pushing himself in it. And that narrative about when you hear Nigerian, you hear scammer, you hear criminal, you hear ashao, that narrative will be there. There's nothing can change it. Understand? And that music is something that they are giving to the people, but that music cannot make other foreigner to accept Nigerian, to trust them to the extent that they're supposed to trust. They cannot trust them. Music is something that can just use it to party together and dance, and that is it. But that one doesn't mean say people will still accept Nigerians and put them in their room or try to accommodate them in the take accommodating. They will still scared of Nigeria. Yes, I may love the music and I'll dance to it. Yeah, how they flow and all those things. But that one doesn't mean say I'll forget myself when I'm sitting with Nigerians as a Nigerian. That narrative will still be there. Nothing can change it. Of course. Of course.
And I've reached the brim of Ghana.
Yeah.
And Nigerian artist is doing his thing. All of a sudden, I should be like him. Otherwise, I've not reached. No, it's not a fair comparison.
But there have been people who have...
I hope you learned something. But we are still going on. We are going to another topic.
Why other African countries they attack us now? What do we do? Nigeria na biggest normally. Their matter no reach anywhere. You go just dey talk rubbish. Nigeria we know they even get light safe. I agree we know they get light. But on our way they get light, more than use on our light, they watch our success. As in the way these Nigerians they do, as if they not they want to on top everybody. See Cameroon Pepe they talk Oga we don't on top una normally. You dey mind them. Cameroon when even get airport. Nigeria the only country where animal they swallow their national budget. Oh forbid. See Zimbabwe they talk only Abuja budget will reach to buy the whole Zimbabwe. No mind am. Country where I will even buy use do poultry. I say if you carry 100k go Zimbabwe, you be big boy If you even rig election for their self. Those ones with their currency useless like them. Well, I have nothing to say. Waiting distributors of HIV want talk. Your father. See Nigeria where poverty they show shaggy. At least we no complain give your papa. We still do alright. See South Africa need one day to celebrate HIV. Una just they get strength for where all these small countries they. Una can't challenge us if you sure for una. Baba we no dey fear una. If na war una want, muna come we dey. You and who follow dey. You get tools. No fear. Una go use juju.
Discuss about the history now. We are going deep to the history. Yeah, that's what we are going to look at now. And this history is very interesting. Let's go inside and see what is there.
4 and 5, 1967, delegates and representatives from both the federal government of Nigeria and the Eastern region, led by Lieutenant Colonel Emeka Ojukwu, met in Aburi, Ghana, to agree on what is now known as the Aburi Accord. The meeting at Aburi was supposed to be the last opportunity to avoid any conflict or civil war. Unfortunately, it was not to be. So, what really happened in Aburi in 1967 that eventually led to the Nigerian Civil War? This is the full story. The coup that installed Major General Johnson Thomas Aguiyi-Ironsi as Nigeria's first military head of state on January 16, 1966, the northern soldiers had started planning by May 1966 the revenge of their leaders who had been murdered in January. The Northerners.
Ghana-Nigerian relationship is not today, for a very long time. And this relationship, Ghana always want to help Nigeria out of anything that come around Nigeria.
Were the major casualties of that coup that was carried out by soldiers mainly from the east. To them, it was an Eastern-favored coup as Aguiyi-Ironsi's regime was believed to be extremely partisan. This highlighted the feeling of insecurity of other groups. It created more problems than it solved old ones, which led to severe criticism of the Supreme Commander. The general himself may not have been necessarily nepotistic. Rather, he failed to see the sectional and clannish implications of events, policies, and appointments that were made during his tenure of office. 194 days after taking power, Aguiyi-Ironsi was murdered in a northern counter-coup on July 29, 1966, and for 3 days, the nation had no recognized leader until Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon succeeded the late head of state on August 1, 1966. The immediate significance of the July coup was that it forced a return to an ethnic balance within the army, as neither the major ethnic groups, Hausa or Yoruba, was placed in power, but a minor ethnic group from the northern region in present-day Plateau State. In the confusion that followed the second coup d'etat, the slender confidence that remained between the...
We still understand the story. The story is about how the Biafra war started before they end up settle the case in Ghana.
And the Northerners was shattered. Disturbances broke out in the east, but even more so in the north after August 1, 1966. The mass killings of the Igbo in the north were a deplorable act that was condemned by Nigerians, including the military governors. With the counter-coup of July 29, 1966, the political development of Nigeria's federal structure took a different turn. It was accentuated even more by the fact that the Eastern Regional Government in Enugu immediately threatened secession if certain grievances and demands were not met. The immediate concern of the federal government, therefore, was for it to find ways to appease the East so long as such concessions were within the framework of one Nigeria. Claiming he was not safe outside the East, the Eastern Military Governor, Lieutenant Colonel Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, refused to leave the region for any meeting anywhere in Nigeria. In a rejoinder, the federal government too argued that the Nigerian leader Yakubu Gowon should also not go to the East for a meeting. His life, they also claimed, was not safe there as well. Tension mounted, and Lieutenant General Joseph Arthur Ankra of Ghana offered a neutral meeting place. The venue was Aburi, Ghana.
When you listening that, and you need to ask yourself and give yourself this reason. Imagine in that time when Nigeria was not safe, Ghana was their safe places where they can be able to go and settle. Now only Ghana be the safe place for them. Why they did not choose Cameroon? Why they did not choose Benin Republic? Why they did not choose Togo? Why they did not choose Niger or Chad? But they choose Ghana. Now Ghana, they went to settle. You ask yourself that as a Nigerian. And this relationship is not just today relationship. It has been there for a very long time. Which is one day I will definitely going to bring Baba. I will make a video, Fela and Whiskey, Davido, and all this Ojukwu and Gowon and other people. I will bring them together in one video. I'll do one day so that I'll bring it out to tell you that why these people love Ghana.
Aburi meeting started on January 4, 1967 and lasted for 2 days. Those who attended the meeting included the head of state, Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon, and the military governors of the 4 regions, Hassan Usman Katsina of the northern region, Robert Adeyinka Adebayo, David Akpode Ejo, and Chukwuemeka Ojukwu of the West, Midwest, and Eastern region, respectively. Others included the military administrator of Lagos, Mobolaji Johnson, the head of the Nigerian Navy, Commodore Joseph Edet Akinwale Wey, and the Inspector General of Police, Alhaji Kam Selem, among others. Aburi was significant for several reasons. First, that the leaders met at all was an achievement in itself. But even more tangible was the fact that the leaders agreed that force would not be used to settle the brothers' palaver. There was also the question of the disposition of Nigerian troops and the reorganization of the army after the second coup on July 29, 1966, and the subsequent killings that followed in September. Further, Ojukwu said that his region was perturbed that, contrary to Gowon's promise on August 9, 1966, which all soldiers would return to the region of origin, northern troops still occupied the western region. Gowon replied that his promise of August 9 applied to the repatriation of soldiers of northern origin stationed in the east back to the north, and those of eastern origin stationed in the north back to the east. He had fulfilled his promise, he said. He then emphasized that soldiers of northern origin would remain in the west since there were only a few Yoruba in the Nigerian army. Instead, on a reorganization of the army on a regional basis. Gowon was also firmly opposed to splitting up the army. Ojukwu claimed that Nigeria did not have a central government since the country, as a result of the second coup and its aftermath, resolved itself into 3 separate sovereign areas: the Lagos West-North area, the Midwest area, and the East area. But Gowon insisted that Nigeria was still one nation.
We know they see ourselves, Nigerian, where are we seeing ourselves? We know it can't be like we are not seeing ourselves for anywhere. We are struggling for a very long time. We are causing katakata between ourselves, nothing to work. But last, when we fight, we dragging, Ghana will still settle us. Even in this new generation we are talking now, Ghana, they claim say their hand no day, but God forbid, if something happen now, Ghana will still come. They will still help Nigeria, definitely. But the problem is that Ghana is not your junior brother. Ghana is not your junior brother, because I'm tired of hearing that word, calling Ghana junior brother. No. I'll be hearing that word. The majority of videos that I'll be watching, I'll be hearing that Nigerian senior brother. I don't know what kind of senior brother they're talking about, because I don't watch many videos. I can't count them when I don't hear that. More than 1 million videos when I don't hear about Nigerian big brother. What big brother are they talking? I'm tired of hearing that word, big brother. We could change that narrative of big brother. Nigerian is not a big brother. Nigeria is a junior brother. Okay? We gonna change that narrative. Junior brother. Nigeria is a junior brother. It's not a big brother. Make I know if I see that thing for people comment, we gonna write comment on that people, make the people to know, so that we can change that narrative, because I'm tired of hearing that. I mean Nigerians too, but I'm tired to hear that. Okay? We need to make some of us to understand that.
An entity composed of 4 regions and the central government in Lagos. Ojukwu then proposed that the situation in the nation necessitated a drawing apart of the regions, because the separation of forces, the separation of the population, is, in all sincerity, necessary in order to avoid further friction and further killings. The other leaders, who all wanted one Nigeria, agreed to Ojukwu's proposal, but apparently without understanding the implication. This was the bombshell of Aburi. To Ojukwu's argument that the regions should first pull apart in order to stay together, the other leaders in effect sanctioned Biafra's secession, hence the end of Nigeria as a single nation. They attended and left the Aburi meeting with the firm belief that Nigeria should and would continue as one nation. But they had gone to that meeting, as it seems, without adequate preparations in terms of a crew of legal and political advisors, which such a meeting demanded. They had gone to Aburi in a spirit of comradeship. Ojukwu, on the other hand, meant business. He arrived in Aburi with a strong team of legal, political, economic advisors, secretaries, and realms of paper.
The wonderful thing is that last, Nigerians will fight. Ghana will settle them. Nigerian will fight. Ghana will settle them. That means Ghana is their father. Yes, now only your father and your mother can be settle you anytime you fight to fight. So that means Nigeria need to respect Ghana. Now Ghana is our father, is our mother, because where anything happen in Nigeria now only Ghana can settle them. Now only Ghana Nigeria will listen to. Wow, this is wonderful. Wonderful.
Not only did the other leaders agree with Ojukwu that the regions and peoples of the nation first draw apart, but they also agreed to Ojukwu's suggestion that there should be no supreme commander of the army, hence no head of government or head of state. What Ojukwu wanted was that whosoever was at the top should be a titular head who would only act when all of them have met and taken a unanimous decision. Since the unanimous decision of all the regions was required before he could act in all matters which affected any of the regions or any of the nation as a whole, the commander-in-chief and head of a government was so only in name. He would still be a titular head. The point of the agreement at Aburi was that each region would be responsible for its own affairs and that the federal military government would be responsible for matters that affected the entire country. A simple enough concept. Afterwards, the officers toasted their reconciliation and agreement with champagne. The federal delegation's jubilation was such that on his plane flight home, Ojukwu asked one of his secretaries whether the federal delegation had fully understood the implications of what had been agreed. However, no one at Aburi, other than Ojukwu, really understood the constitutional implications of what had been agreed. Ojukwu was obviously delighted with this, hence why he was in such a hurry to implement the decisions that were taken, and why Gowon had to break his promise.
Thank you. Thank you for also sending the message. It's not only me now, Tanko. We also need to thank the person that sent the message to. Thank everybody for your support, your time, your data, your comment, your like, everything that's all you are doing. I just want to appreciate you. Thank you. Together, we become one. Love everybody. Just want to say bye-bye.